Two lawmakers are introducing a bill to make high-speed internet access affordable to all Americans.
It's called the Accessible, Affordable Internet Access for All Act. Senator Amy Klobuchar and House Majority Whip James Clyburn went to invest over $94 billion to close the digital divide. Part of that money would go to providing high-speed broadband infrastructure nationwide. The proposed bill would also require affordable options for internet service plans and would invest $2 billion to make sure children who don't have internet at home can still participate in remote learning.
Here to talk more about what this means is Hugh Odom. He's the founder and president of Vertical Consultants, a former attorney for AT&T as well. Hugh, thanks for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
So an estimated 20 million people in rural or poor areas don't have access to high-speed internet, and during the pandemic, that meant kids didn't have access to school, remote learning. How would this bill change that?
Well, as you mentioned, it's a huge issue that's going on, and we have about, right now, there's a survey saying that about 90% of people emphasize that internet service and wireless service is not only crucial, but essential for them in daily lives. This bill will help the rural area, which about 60% of people say they have underserved or almost no internet or wireless service at all. This would go to build the infrastructure needed to get internet service and wireless service to these areas, to help in education, to help in healthcare, to help in employment and economic opportunities, because we are entering into a digital economy, a digital educational services, and a digital health services as well. So this is needed to build that backbone to provide those services in areas that right now don't have that.
This is not a new thing, trying to ramp up broadband. Did the pandemic kind of accelerate this process to try to get this done?
You know, people think of technology as kind of being this all being that helps everybody. But what technology is doing is there's a divide out there, and technology is widening that divide between the have and the have-nots. And when COVID hit, it just emphasized this even more. It was already there, but it just put a very hot spotlight on it. And now you have to get these people in a means to be able to have what is basically a utility to go about daily life and go about economic opportunity that if they don't have, you're going to have a huge division in this country between the have and have-nots. And I call it a wireless wall, that you have a area outside of an urban area and there's the wall. And right there, when you go past that wall, you will enter into a different way of living just because of the lack of internet and wireless services in those areas.
So access is one thing, affordability is another. Does this bill introduce help with the affordability issue for Americans?
It does. It's going to give certain breaks to lower income people in the way of a $50 discount in some services, and in tribal lands, they will get a $75 discount as well. So you're going to have access, you're going to have affordability. You have the other part of this, it's going to provide a lot of affordability to local and small businesses in rural areas to get ingrained into these networks that right now don't exist.
Are telecom companies jumping up and helping out as well?
Well, they're trying to. I think it's something that we look at from perspective of, we think the bigger solution here is not the AT&T Verizons of the world. We think the bigger solution is local and regional carriers that get in cooperation with local and state governments. And this is handled on a federal level, but that money should be filtered down to those local and state governments to partner in a cooperative, basically, kind of like back when the 1940s, when we had electrical cooperatives get utilities, electrical services to certain part of the area of the country. That needs to be put in place. So AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, et cetera, can help out. But I think really where this is going to get fuel to fire on this is if you get some local and regional carriers to go in and partner with the local and state governments to build out networks for these areas.
The Senate Minority Leader has said this bill is political theater and won't go anywhere in the Senate. What do you think the opposition to that is?
Well, I think it's not just the money. It's how most things, how the money is going to be spent. And I think when you're looking at $94 billion, you're looking at a whole lot of money, and $80 billion of that is geared toward or focused toward the infrastructure, and the rest is kind of helping in some grants for local economies and local governments, et cetera, to build out these infrastructure. I think there needs to be more money put on the local and state level of this money, and if they can do that, I think you can get a bipartisan deal done, because you can say, look, we're not just spending big government dollars, because the issue that we've always had with government rollout of infrastructure on the wireless side or the broadband side is there's a lot of money, but it didn't get spent correctly. And I think if you put the money in the pockets of the people that need it and those local communities, and you partner with local providers, then you have a better chance of actually having effective results with regards to this program.
Hugh, thank you so much.
Thank you.